you've been thunderstruck.
Hello, and welcome back to the Being Shot Defense podcast with your host, Yeesh and Yish, Denny in the Shrine. Denny, what is good?
What's going on, man? Sunday, April 14th, 6:28 p.m.
Early.
Today was game 82 of the NBA, meaning that the regular season has come to a close. Our last episode, we recapped the season and we talked takeaways from the year. Go check out that episode if you have not already. A lot of good basketball today that was played. We're going to review that. Playoff and play-in matchups have been set. The West is going to be on Tuesday. The East is going to be on Wednesday. Final games are going to be Friday. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to preview each matchup and give our thoughts. But before that, Matt, we have a tradition we got to continue.
Yes, we do. If you've not been here before, we take a shot for this great association in hopes that it gets even better franchise back here to our lovely home of Seattle, Washington. Seattle Supersonics. Bring it back, baby. Here's a shot.
Bring it back.
A little whiskey for you today.
Wow.
And with that, Denny, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. All right, let's talk Eastern Conference first. So the standings, they finished out with Boston being, of course, number one. And then actually what happened today is the Bucks lost to the Magic, and the Knicks beat the Bulls in a pretty close game, winning OT. But with that win, the Knicks secured the 2 seed, stole it from the Bucks.
Yeah.
So the Bucks fell to the 3 seed. We got the Cavs at 4, the Magic at 5. We got the Pacers at 6. The Sixers are at 7. Heat are at 8. We got the Bulls at 9, and the Hawks finishing up at 10.
Yes, sir.
So we got some good first round matchups that we're going to be going on. With the Bucks falling to 3, they're going to have a first round matchup against the Pacers. And these teams have played a lot this year. I mean,
Pacers have had their number this year,
too. The Pacers have had their number this year. I think the Pacers are 4-1 against them this season. With one of those wins, being in the in-season tournament in the semifinals in that game, and they made them look silly. And so it's we'll see if they can have that same success. Another thing about the Bucks is they've been struggling as of late.
Giannis, they haven't had Giannis.
Giannis has been out, and in his timetable right now, he doesn't have one. They don't know what's going to happen.
Hopefully, he just needs a week because they need him.
Yeah, they're going to need him in this series. And this year, now they got Dame. With this lineup, the way the Bucks been playing, Matt, what do you think is going to happen in this series? Do you think the Pacers are going to put up a fight? How many games do you see it going? What are you thinking?
Well, big thing to think about for this series as well is you got to think about that narrative that was set early on in the season. We had that big game where Giannis had a franchise record for points, and the Pacers decided to take the game ball, and a lot of beef. And I think there's still
since that, I think there's been some tension,
and they've had like at least 2 or 3 games that they played each other again after that game. And it's been chippy. So they're gonna go. Both teams are gonna go in with a chip on their shoulder. Really want to get it after this and get a little bit scrappy. I really think the winner really depends on Giannis, his availability, how healthy he is, it really depends. If he's not there for the first game or if he has limited minutes, I can really see the Pacers just going in and killing them. So I don't know. You also Pacers have been getting their stuff a little bit better lately. I don't think they still have it figured out quite right with Pascal yet. And I know it's like only been half a season since the trade deadline. So it's like, I don't know.
They're still a young team.
Yeah.
They're, getting great experience. They've been playing really well. I agree with you. Giannis is such a big factor. I mean, he's a triple-double machine. He's an MVP. And so it really depends how he's going to be, if he's going to be healthy, if he's going to be playing. And I think it's crucial that the Bucks need to make sure that they win those first 2 games at home. I think that's, if they lose one or if they ended up losing both, bringing that confidence to the Pacers going back home, that's when I can see things start to turn. So it's gonna be a really good matchup. But we'll have to monitor Giannis, his health going up to that. I think they're gonna have about a week or so for him to heal up from that calf injury, and so we'll have to see what's gonna happen there.
Yeah, so it'll be I think it'll be my favorite matchup the first round for sure.
How many games do you think you can see it going?
Oh, easily 6.
6?
Easily 6. and maybe it's just like the fact that they're maybe just hiding on us as like a rest, but he's not really injured. So like,
Right.
because they don't want to get penalized with that whole new deal stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it really just depends on Giannis at the end of the day.
Yep. Gonna be a great matchup. Let's go on to the next matchup. That's a lock already. We got the 4 and the 5 seed. We got the Cavs versus the Magic. These teams faced off 3 times this year. The Magic to 2 of those games. Both teams have had very impressive seasons. They're both young teams and they've been playing really well in the East. I think this is going to be a great matchup. What are your thoughts for this matchup, Matt?
I am very excited for this matchup. You have Paulo Banchero in his first playoff game.
Yep.
Along with my guy, Jalen Suggs, there as well. They have a really good team. They've been on and off throughout the season. But one thing to look at is that this Orlando Magic team is ranked second defensive rating in this league behind the Timberwolves in the West. So they're the number 1 ranked team defensively in the East. I think that's going to be a very big thing. And I think, honestly, my biggest guy is going to be the Jalen Suggs versus Donovan Mitchell, because Jalen Suggs has been locking up other point guards lately, and it's going to make a difference. So the rest of that team can score. I mean, Jalen Suggs can score too easily, but if the rest of the team can do what they've been doing with defensively wise and shut down Donovan, I think you're good. Because Darius Garland also a good guard as well for there. That'll be huge. But yeah, it'll be good.
I'm curious to see that matchup with Donovan Mitchell. We've seen what Donovan Mitchell does in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's nasty.
He's insane in the playoffs, and so a lot of it's gonna be on him. Another thing that I think about when I look at the Cavs is Jared Allen down low. Matt has been playing he's been playing great this year, and so
he was huge during that time when Mobley was out for so long.
Yep.
And now he's back, and I don't know how Mobley's done since he's gone back, but Jared Allen really took over a big role there.
Yep. So that front court, is healthy now. It'll be a matchup for Paulo. It's going to be a great matchup, though. I do think it'll depend on, how Donovan Mitchell plays, but I think I could see the Cavs taking this series. I think, the Magic are going to get great experience here in the playoffs. It's their first year.
Yeah.
They're still gaining chemistry and everything. They're still a young team. But I could just see the Cavs maybe a little bit over them, but it's the playoffs, so anything can happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I don't think Orlando wins their first series this year as a new, I won't say dynasty, but a new franchise that's really coming together with a young team.
Yeah, really young, but a great team. They've been top 6 all year, I think.
Yeah.
So they've been playing really well. One thing I want to say just about the East in general is I feel like the East this season is much more exciting than it's been in past years. Usually it's just like your top 3 teams.
Right.
You're like, these guys are going to meet up in the conference finals. But with these guys, or with these matchups now and how good all these teams have been, I just feel like it's a lot more exciting now in the East. So it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously you have the Celtics way higher than the next 2 seed, but but the rest of it's been so competitive.
Yeah. And I want to talk Knicks really quick as well, stealing that 2 seed from the Bucks.
Yeah.
They've had one of their best seasons in a long time, and they were doing that even with Randall going down with the shoulder and then being out the rest of the year. OG was out for about a month or so. They still found ways to compete and play team basketball.
Resilience, man.
All starts with Jalen Brunson. He's been having an insane year. The Knicks are a great team right now.
Yeah. And so many people have been really stepping up in role. People like DiVincenzo, never thought he would be as good as he is doing right now.
He's like a primary scorer for him now.
Yep.
It's insane.
Him, Hartenstein.
Yep.
And
Josh Hart's been playing solid minutes.
Well, yeah. It's kind of like, I didn't realize that Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, and Jalen Brunson were all together at that Villanova national team. So
yep. That's already chemistry right there.
They got it down. They're showing it like they used to be, and it's a cool time to be a Knicks fan again.
Yep. McBride's been playing well for him.
Yeah.
Bogdanovich has been playing solid minutes for him.
Massive trade for them in that trade deadline.
Yep.
So it's working out for them. Knicks have been playing well. Thunder played them to clinch their playoff spot. That was a really tough game. Literally came down to a shea buzzer beater. So it's like they played really well, and so it was my first time really actually going to watch them.
Yeah,
deeper than just highlights. So they're a really good team. I think my problem with them is I think they're just really scattered, and I think when I say that, I mean they have some of the ridiculous turnovers, and they're just like not playing. Sometimes they'll just get ahead of themselves and they're just making mistake after mistake.
Well, they showed that today against the Bulls.
Yeah.
You know,
They-
I think
they
they
had
get
it
a little
wrapped up and
they get a little too
yeah.
excited and they start moving a little too quickly. And I think
Yeah.
you know they're thinking about their next move before they even get the ball, so that causes a lot of turnovers.
Right.
And so I agree with you. You know, it's not like carelessness, but they're just trying to move a little too fast. They need to, you know, bring the ball back out or slow it down, set it back up. But yeah, I think they had like, you know, 21 turnovers or something today, which, you know, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
So you can't be doing that in the playoffs. So.
They need to sweep that up.
Yep.
And whoever they play, I think it'll be a good series.
They're going to play. It's this next matchup we're going to talk about, our first play-in matchup. They're going to play the winner of Philly versus Miami.
That'll
7 versus 8.
I'll be honest. I'm going to say right now, I don't think Knicks beat either of those teams. I know that's saying a lot. And there's word today that Joel Embiid said he will be expected to be healthy for the postseason. That was just shot today after he left with apparent knee injury a couple days ago. So
he's been huge for him. You know, they finished. Philly finished the year on an 8-game win streak, and I think that's basically how long he's been back. From the surgery, and so getting Embiid back is huge. But the Heat have also been playing really well as of late. I think they finished the season winning 7 out of their last 10. I mean, we know Jimmy Butler. We know what he does when it comes to playoff time. He's playing against his old team, the Sixers. So this is going to be a really, really good matchup. They tied the season series this year 2-2, I believe. Any preview, Matt? Any guesses? Any predictions of this game?
Well, what was Miami seed last year? Do you remember?
I think they were 8.
Yeah, and it's so hard to count Miami out after seeing what they did last year.
They've done it multiple years.
And they've been injured half this season.
Yeah,
they got 2 new rookies out there, and you have
ever since the bubble. Ever since the bubble, and they made it to the finals. They're just
so hard to count
out. Jimmy has shown what he can do. I think it's gonna be a great matchup.
So I think it's. And obviously, Joel Embiid choked last year after an MVP, and he choked really bad in the playoffs, which kind of just deteriorated.
And he's gonna have a tough matchup against Bam.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a tough matchup for him. That's a good matchup.
Maxey versus Hero.
It'll be
Hero's a really
Maxey
good
versus Hero, or
they have Laurie as well.
And then I always forget that they have Rozier.
Oh yeah, too.
They got Rozier there now.
Or Laurie's on the bench, right?
Yeah. So
I forgot about Jay Rozier, honestly. So that'll be actually.
Any guesses of who's going to win?
I'm putting my money on Miami. And also, just like
I'm kind of leaning Miami a little bit as well.
It's hard to say that because Philly's such a good team when fully healthy.
Yeah, with my guy Maxey. I mean,
I like Tyrese Maxey a lot.
Say that.
And Tobias Harris has actually been really clutch for them in the past with the playoffs as well.
Yep.
But this Miami team's a lot is healthier than this Philly team right now, and they know what to do. They know how to win the playoffs,
right.
And I can't just count them out to the first round.
Right.
So,
well, that matchup's going to be Wednesday. The other matchup that's going to be Wednesday is the 9 and 10 seed of the Eastern Conference, and that's the Bulls versus the Hawks. I'm going to say that after what I saw today from the Bulls, I think the Bulls are winning this game.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Kobe White we were talking about it earlier. He's I think most improved.
I agree.
His court presence has been completely enhanced. You can tell he's been in the lab, wrapping up his 5th year in the league. I mean, I've always liked the Bulls. DeMar, he almost had a game winner today.
Yeah,
I thought that shot was going in. I mean, he almost had a game winner. And Vucevic, I think, is still a proficient center.
Mm-hmm.
And Caruso's just on-ball defense, overall defensive presence is huge for this team. So I think that they're going to beat the Hawks.
I agree. And you just kind of look at this team, and they just injury riddled from the very beginning.
Yep.
And they also have what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
Who, the Bulls?
Yeah, tall guy, backup center.
Oh, they have Drummond.
Andre Drummond. Oh my gosh, I like a picture of his face. Oh my gosh, yeah. So you have Andre Drummond as well,
who really actually played. He's been playing solid minutes.
He's been playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah,
and he was he used to be really Like he led the league in rebounds one year
Yeah.
with the Pistons.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like Drummond a lot. I actually really wanted him at the trade deadline, as we talked about in former episodes.
Yep.
Yeah, this Bulls team is really good. They just got unfortunate. I trust Billy Donovan. In a weird way, obviously. I mean, I saw him for so many years, but at least for this first round, I do trust him for sure. Against this Hawks team, I don't think this Hawks team is as good.
I think so as well.
Shout out to Muhammad Gay finally getting his NBA debut.
Shout out Mo.
Not to be confused with another
Mahamadou
Gay.
Mahamadou Gay. He's on the Raptors G League team. Yes.
They're both tall. They're both really tall. One's Hamadou, one's Mohammed.
But I think they both go by Mo. So
they both go by Mo Gay. So
it makes it a little confusing sometimes.
And they're both just like at the same level of basketball play pretty much right now.
You're right. Well, theoretically, if the Bulls were to win and if the Sixers were to lose, that would be the matchup for the 8th seed.
Yeah.
Which I think at that point, I think the Sixers would win that.
Yeah, I agree.
And so the Sixers would be the 8th seed.
Yeah. And then they would play
Boston.
Yeah.
Wow.
That could be a good series.
That could be a good series. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's a first round series.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do have Boston winning. If that does happen, I would have Boston winning that series in the first round because I don't think they're going to choke until the finals. But
yeah, Celtics.
It'll be a matchup for sure.
Yeah.
I think Kristaps will really give Joel Embiid a run for his money. So
it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great matchup. Well, let's move on to the Western Conference.
Absolutely.
Let's go over the seeding really quick. There was some big games today. Big games today. A lot of movement in the West, but the final standings are here. After everything that was happening, the Oklahoma City Thunder
remain victorious.
Taking the 1 seed.
Youngest team in NBA history to get a 1 seed. Youngest ever. And this is coming into today. There was a 3-way tie right now. Like, this is the first time ever as well that we've ever had a 3-way tie with 1 game to play for the first seed in either conference. Like, we've never had a race this tight. It was amazing.
First time Thunder have done that since, I think, 2011-12 when it was
2012-13.
Yeah.
It was back with Harden, Russ, KD. Yeah, with all those guys. And feels good to be back.
So they're at 1 with the Wolves.
Wins.
Yep, and with the Wolves losing, the Nugs took the 2 seed.
Yep.
So the Wolves got 3, and then we know the Clippers are at 4, Mavs are at 5. The Suns jumped to 6 today with a loss from the Pelicans, and then the Suns beat the Wolves. And then so the Pelicans are 7, Lakers are 8. We got Kings 9, and the Warriors down at 10. A lot of good matchups.
This is
a lot of good matchups here.
This will be some fun basketball in the West.
Clippers versus Mavs. I am really excited for this series.
Yes, I am too.
I think it's going to be one of the best first round matchups. I mean, Luka and Kyrie have been clicking as of late.
Yeah.
And the team, and because of that, the team overall has been playing really well. And the Clippers have been playing well, but I feel like, I don't know, this is going to be a really good matchup. Do you think the Mavs have the edge in the series?
Right now, I do think they have the edge right now because I said the Clippers have not been great, but they're actually 20-10 since the All-Star break. But it was enough to slip down quite a bit. And so they were, I mean, before the All-Star break, everybody had them as like the favorites for the West.
They were on that crazy run.
They had an amazing run.
Yeah.
But I feel like a regular NBA fan knows that can be sufficient forever. So they came back down to earth a little bit.
Yep.
And then they've also been injured a little bit too with no Harden and Kawhi these last week, I believe. And then Russ went out for a game as well. And then BG, I think, just rested a game near the end there because they knew their matchup before anybody else knew their matchup in the West with the seeding. So, yeah, we watched that massive Kyrie 40-point game. That was insane.
Crazy.
Luka had 38 that game as well. So
crazy.
And they went to OT. That was their first OT game all season, weirdly enough. And so just the resilience has been crazy. We've talked about the addition of Gafford and PJ Washington.
Yep.
It's just I was very underrated trade that I feel like I did not touch on enough when we were talking about the Shed Central deadlines. It's really been Gafford has been amazing for them down low.
And they're getting solid minutes from guys like
yeah.
Timmy Hardaway and Dante Exum. I mean, he's the one who hit that three.
He hit the game winner.
Yeah.
Or
the one that sent it to OT. Yeah. So I mean, the whole team's been clicking.
They've been good.
It starts with Luka and Kyrie, but then you look over at the Clippers and you have a healthy Kawhi Leonard. We've seen what Kawhi can do in the playoffs. You got James Harden. We've seen different sides of James Harden in the playoffs.
Pandemic P.
And we have Paul George. I think a lot of it surrounds Paul George. There's been a lot of questions about Paul George in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's been playing well this year. Do you think that's going to continue into the postseason? Is he going to live up to the expectation, or is he going to shut down those expectations and ball?
I'm just going to say I think they win or lose literally based off it's going to be come down to PG.
Right.
Even if Harden has a bad game, like you kind of, I'm not saying you expect that. PG,
but you still have PG and Kawhi, though. Yeah.
PG has been more relied on this season, I think, more than anybody else in that team, actually, because Kawhi's never fully healthy ever. PG's had a great year. And I feel like I haven't talked about it enough.
I feel like his fourth quarter scoring has been
insane.
Been really good this season.
Been really good.
Yeah, he's been playing really well down the stretch.
But I have unfortunately experienced Paul George in the playoffs. I've unfortunately experienced Russell Westbrook in the playoffs. I've unfortunately experienced James Harden in the playoffs as well in multiple ways. So it's been tough, to say the least, to watch those guys not really be super successful, other than that Thunder team that went to the finals against the Heat. That was a long time ago. Like I said, 2012, 2013. So like the 2013 finals. And so it's been a long time.
Beginning of the year, I would have said the Clippers are going to win this easy, but just the fact that Luka and Kyrie have been playing so well now together, I mean, they've been clicking.
A lot of people have been saying Luka for MVP. And you know what? I think he's great.
You look at his numbers.
He's been amazing. Crazy. And he had a way better second half. He was even MVP. He was an MVP candidate before the second half as well.
Yeah. And I feel like he's always talked about in that conversation. He's never that one or two solidified. He's going to, win it, but he's always in that top 5 discussion.
Here's where I think the Clippers have the upper edge, though, is the defense fact. The defensive fact.
I agree.
Well, that's
both Luka and Kyrie don't play defense.
That's why Luka will not be MVP, because he plays zero defense.
They both don't play good defense, and so that will be an issue for them.
If Luka can't guard PG, if Luka can't guard Russ or Harden, like Harden easily, he can. I think Harden can easily put legs on Luka easily. Like he can cross him up so easy. He's got some of the best handles we've seen. Kyrie also has some of the best handles we've seen, but we know his defense has not been great in the past.
Yep.
So. They've gotten a lot of help from like guys like PJ Washington and Gafford, obviously really good defensive down low, and so I'm not really worried on that, and I'm not worried in the front court, but that backcourt's got to be, they got to step it up.
I could see this series going 7.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to get very chippy.
I hope it does go to 7.
I think it's going to get. I think it's going to get very chippy. It's going to be a great series.
I think this is like the best first round matchup we could ask for. In the West. Yeah. Obviously, besides almost every single one of these games is going to be good, in my opinion. This is like the most competitive I've seen the West in years.
Yep.
So,
the other matchup we have that's been solidified, as we mentioned earlier, the Suns beat the Wolves today.
Hey-o.
The Lakers beat the Pelicans, and so the Suns stole the 6th seed from the Pels, and they're now matched up against the 3rd seed Wolves, who they just played today. They had a solid win against the Wolves today.
The best I've seen them play in a long time.
When this team plays defense, they are a very dangerous team, but it's when they play it.
It's not consistently enough.
When they play great defense, they create turnovers, and they get out in transition with the shooting that they have on that team. They can generate points in a hurry with that. That was the best first quarter I've seen all year from them.
Mm-hmm.
Where they dropped 44 points. I think they forced 11 turnovers. It was the best.
It was such a good first quarter.
And then as the game went on,
they had a 30-point lead at one point.
Yeah, as the game went on, the defense kind of stopped, and I'm just like, what are we doing?
Had a rough second quarter. But here's the other weird thing: I've watched a lot of games of the T-Wolves lately, and they've been down in most of their first halves in the last couple of weeks. They were down bad against the Nationals. Same thing, 30-point game, and they came back and won. And
Wizards?
they were down bad. Oh yeah, no, the Wizards. Sorry, National Capital. You get it. Yeah, they've been down a lot in these games, but they've been having to climb back, and I think that's where the Suns need to hit them. That's not necessarily their first quarter. They need to come out playing defense in the second half. That third quarter is massive because I know they can score. Well, like Bradley Beal popped off today. KD, we know he can score.
Yep.
KD's been a little bit lazier on the drives lately, which I've kind of seen. He honestly looks like he's just kind of slowed down a little bit, but he's still KD at the end of the day. He's still really good. He's still a top performer, scorer in this league. But they need to. They're going to win this series. If they're going to win this series, they have to come out attacking in the third quarter. You're playing the best defensive team in the league this year, and so it's going to be tough for them. But the Suns, when hot, they're one of the best offensive teams in this league as well. So if the Suns can play defense for specifically the third quarter, in my opinion, then I think they could win at least 3 games in this series minimum, and it could come down to the last game.
An issue I realized from today's game is when Nurkic gets in foul trouble.
Yeah, he got in 3 fouls in the first quarter.
There's no one who can stop Gobert from getting every fucking rebound or going up and getting these and ones, and he's actually making his free throws. And so that is what I'm worried about, is if they get Nurkic in foul trouble, which is easy because this guy is jumping all over the place and running into people.
I kind of joked about this.
Who's going to guard Gobert?
Me and Sharon were talking about the Suns, and we were kind of joking around. But it's kind of true that the best defensive players, in my opinion, on the Suns are Grayson Allen and Eubanks. In my opinion, Eubanks has been really good.
I mean, I really liked Eubanks' play.
Yeah, he did really good today. He stepped up when Nurk got into that foul trouble.
Yep. And
Grayson Allen, despite his past, he's actually really impressed me over this season. I've said it in multiple podcasts.
And I would say Bradley Beal has actually been playing well defensively.
Yeah,
it's nice to have another guard, Bradley Beal. I don't think he gets talked about enough.
Royce
defensively.
O'Neal stepped it up a little bit defensively as
Royce
well.
O'Neal, that's why he was brought over.
Yeah.
You know, he's the primary defender on all the people. He just needs to make more of his catch and shoot threes.
Bol was scoring today too.
Bol was scoring. Had some great chemistry with Book on a couple plays.
Yeah.
So, but when I look at the Wolves too, the other thing I'm a little worried about is with Cat now back, they're fully loaded. So it's gonna be a great series. But I agree with you. You know, defensively they got to be consistent. They got to realize, you got to do it for all 48 minutes. I think this series can go 6 games.
I think
it's gonna be crazy.
I think the toughest time that the Suns are gonna have is juggling between Gobert and Cat. That's just so hard.
That's a tough front court to go up against when they're both on the floor.
And
you have
Eubanks as the backup for there,
because you have KD on Cat, and that is not what we want to happen.
No. And I love KD, but it's not. He's not going to be defending Cat very well.
No.
He's not going to post up at all. KD just stays out there in the mid range and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we look at the rest of the West, we got the Nugs at the 2 seed. Mm-hmm. So they will be playing the winner of 7 and 8, which is the Pelicans and the Lakers, who actually just played today. And the Lakers smacked them.
Yeah, they did really well.
Smacked them.
Pels have been lost to step the last 2 weeks, I swear. I do not know what happened. They were as high as the 4th seed at 120.
I think some of it happened. I think there's games where Zion is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And he's not really doing much. I feel like CJ McCollum has been playing very consistent. He's been playing well.
CJ's been really good.
He's been playing really well. But Zion has got to be there playing consistently well. We've seen what he can do this year. He's been playing really well, but I feel like there's games where he just kind of sits in the back seat, takes the back seat, just doesn't really do that. And another thing, as of late, haven't been playing well, but BI was hurt. BI's back now.
Yep.
I think that's
massive.
I think that's a huge factor for him. But the Lakers have had their way against them this year. They're 3-1 against them, all 20-point wins.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
I think the Lakers, I you can't count on LeBron for solo, and I know his reign is coming down slowly, but they were also a playing team last year and then got to the Western Conference Finals. Do I see it happening this year? I don't think so. I think they can easily put a competition no matter who they play in this tournament or in the playoffs, no matter what. but I don't see them making a run they did last year. But I do see them getting out of this play-in again.
One
I
thing
do see them beating the Pels.
One thing we do have to monitor is AD's
Yeah.
health. He went down today with some like hip and back spasms.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like it was towards the end of the game. There was a timeout. He was walking very slowly to the scorer's table and had to slowly be helped to sit down. And it was later came out that he had like back spasms and hip spasms, and they were going to do some testing and see what's going on. So AD's health is
that'll be massive.
Yeah, AD's health's an issue, but I think the Lakers have been playing really well as of late. I mean, they were like 9th or 10th, and now they jumped all the way up to 7. Given also that the Kings have slipped immensely. We're gonna get there in a second, though. But I mean, the Lakers, AD's been playing well. LeBron's been doing his thing. D'Lo, I've been saying he's been having a great year.
Yeah.
So I could see the Lakers winning this and going to have a rematch against the Nuggets of the conference finals from last year.
I think a lot of Lakers fans were really pissed off with Darvin Ham this season in general.
Yeah.
They had Cam Reddish playing more minutes than Rui, and
Rui's been playing really well.
Rui's been playing really well. He's finally putting him in more.
Yeah.
And so that's really helping him out. And they had it's just been so he's getting the lineup figured out a little bit more. And thank God he's coming at the right time.
Yeah.
So
well, speaking of the Kings, they're going to be matched up against the Warriors at the 9 and 10. This is a rematch of the first round matchup last year, which won 7 games.
That was such a good series.
Well, I think Curry dropped 50 in game 7.
Like the beam.
And then we think about even this year too, that they had like 3 matchups this year and they were all like 1-point games.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Warriors took 1 or 2 of those. But it's crazy. But the Kings have been dragging to the finish line. They only won 4 of their last 10. They dropped to 9th. And the Warriors are doing the opposite. I think they've won 8 out of their last 10. I don't know. The way it's looking right now, I think that the Warriors are going to win this game.
Sadly, I don't know what.
I really like the Kings. I really like the Kings. They're a young team.
On paper, they're great, but they've not looked good the last.
They have not looked good.
Weeks.
They have not looked good.
I don't know why. I just haven't. I watched them like, oh my god, Sabonis makes a massive move. Malik Monk just pulling up from 3. De'Aaron Fox is nasty. And I'm like looking at this. I'm like, how have they not been winning lately? I only saw the one game against the Thunder about a week ago, but I don't know. I don't know.
I think there might just be a couple more pieces they need to add. But I mean, I really like the Kings. I love Sabonis.
Yeah, me too.
I really like Fox.
I like all those guys on there.
Monk is my 6th man of the year.
He's the 6th man of the year.
Yeah.
I think is pretty.
Yeah, and so I think that there might just be a couple more pieces they need to add. I'm not necessarily sure what they need. I really like Keegan Murray too.
Yeah.
I feel like he had kind of a streaky year. But that was only a year, I think, 2 for him. And so I'm looking for more from him next year. But I really like Keegan Murray. I like this team, but I think the Warriors are going to win it. And then they'll probably play the Pelicans for the A seed.
Yeah. I saw a funny reminder today of this old video of the, it was a Kings fan. There was like, I don't want to draft Luka. And they literally, looking back at this, is kind of hilarious at the fact that the Kings drafted Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic. But yours that'll be the story of every draft. They'll be hitting gems.
There's always people like that, I guess. Yeah,
but that just kind of cracked me up. But yeah,
fucking Bagley.
I sadly think, one, you cannot count out Steph and Clay in the playoffs ever.
No.
Draymond can fuck off, but
fuck Draymond.
It's definitely a new team this year. But you can put this entire season behind them, and they can go on crazy runs this year. And
yep.
So we'll see what happens.
If that all happens, it'd be Pelicans versus Warriors for the 8th seed. Who do you think's winning that game?
Pelicans versus Warriors?
Yep, for the 8th seed.
It's tough, actually. I don't know.
And then that would be who you would be playing against.
I'll tell you who I want to play.
I think I can guess.
I want to play the Pels.
Yes. Yes.
I have too many bad memories of the Warriors. I'm taking my fame for the first seed now in a long time, and I do not want to face the Warriors for the first round of securing the playoffs in so long. So yes, I would 100% be scared of the Warriors, even though we pretty much killed them both times we played them this year. But like I said, I in a playoff situation, I don't know if I could confidently say we're going to win.
Yeah.
I do think we'd still win no matter what. I think we're winning the first round. I'm not as confident as the second / Western Conference Finals, but Well, the thing is with the Pels and Warriors, Pels are a much bigger team matched up against
They are.
them. So I think that'll be
Valanciunas,
huge.
Zion.
Yeah. So I think that will be the difference maker there.
Yeah.
Just on the defensive fact. So Draymond can't defend either of those guys. So
Right.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, as we mentioned, Tuesday is the West play-in, Wednesday's the East play-in, and then the final games are going to be Friday. We're going to try to come back on here and do a little short preview of those 1-8 and 2-7 matchups before the first round begins.
Yep.
And then we're going to try to,
We should
do episodes throughout the whole playoffs. I mean, hopefully a couple maybe per series, especially if there's some series that are going to be crazy. Like if it's a series going 7, we're probably going to hop on here and
Absolutely.
just, do a short little 20-minute talk or whatever it is. This is our favorite time of the year. We're ready to rock. So NBA playoffs are coming.
Do you want to make your predictions now or wait till the next episode?
Let's do next episode when
All
we
right.
have the play-ins
When we
all
have the play-in
solidified.
done.
So then we'll have all the matchups solidified. And
Yeah.
then let's do our whole playoff, like each round predictions.
All right. Recap. Who do you have winning the play-ins then for East? Go.
So for the East,
Philly versus Miami.
I think I have Miami winning that game.
Yep. And then
The Bulls are going to win. And I
Against
think
the Hawks?
Yeah, and I think Philly's going to win that. So I think the 7th seed is going to be Miami and the 8th seed is going to be Philly.
Cannot agree more. And then West, we got Pels versus Lakers, and we both chose Lakers.
I think the Lakers are going to be 7, and I think the Warriors are going to be 8.
Yep. I agree.
I think you can't count out the Warriors, I think.
No.
Just, they don't have much time left.
And that scares me, but I can't agree more. So
Yeah. Awesome.
All right.
Well, it's good to be back on the mic. Thank you all for tapping in.
Quick episode.
We will be back with playoff predictions once the play-in is solidified. And thank you all for listening.
Yeah, go back to our last episodes. Take a listen.
Yes, listen to our season
last
recap.
episode was a season recap. There's really good things on what we thought would change about basketball. Go check us out on social media. We're now on TikTok. I need to post more on there. X/Twitter on there, Instagram, Big Shot DJs, YouTube. I'm gonna upload more videos, but our full interview with Alex Yano is on there right now. Go take a look.
Let's go.
It's also on Spotify, or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify or go to YouTube because the video is not played on there. So that is everything. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.